this episode of...
You must be joking.
Right?
How you doing today, G?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good,
Just
man.
Released a new song today, so I'm happy about it.
Yeah, it sounded. I listened to it while you were warming your coffee. Sounds real good, man.
Yeah, so...
That's them country love songs, man. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Hey, what can I say? Redneck to the core.
Hey, buddy. My long hair doesn't cover my redneck.
Yeah, mine don't either, but my parents used to. Anyway, we were just talking about that tsunami that hit Tonga.
The tsunami in Tonga, yeah. That's it's sad and devastating, but at the same time, you got to recognize that the Earth is constantly changing. It is always moving and evolving, and this stuff's it's going to happen. I like how scientists are like, well, we're overdue for this and overdue for that, and then when something happens, everyone's all like, oh my god, we didn't know it was coming. It's like, bro, scientists said, and we're supposed to listen to scientists, because they know everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 4-foot wall of water.
Yeah, 4-foot wall of water that went thousands of miles.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, 4 foot, but that's a wall of water. 4 foot, traveling about 500 miles an hour until it hits the shoreline, and then it may or may not stack up, but still, it's coming. It's coming in like that.
It still costs 6,600 lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that's the people couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah, but I mean, to add a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Substance to it. Okay, something that to put it into perspective.
Perspectives.
Okay? Yeah. I've walked out a door and had a 5-gallon bucket of water hit me in the back of the neck. Somebody just, as a joke, poured it at me. Right. It damn near knocked me off my feet.
Right.
That was just 5 gallons out of a bucket. That hit all at once. Now, can you imagine being hit by a fast-moving?
I can,
4 foot?
because I used to live in Hawaii and I surf.
Yeah.
And so when there's 3 little tiny waves and then someone says look out and there's a huge wave. Yeah, I've been knocked off my board and swam. And hit the ground because I was going the wrong damn direction. But yeah, as a matter of fact, I was in Hawaii one time when a big earthquake happened in Alaska, and we had to go to high ground because there was a tsunami warning. And I mean, I can laugh about it now, but we went up the hill and we could still see the port, and we're watching, and all these guys are getting on their ships, and they're aiming towards what they think is going to be the wave coming, so their sailboats don't sink or whatever. And you see the water get all calm, then you see us, and it's like, and then the water gets rough again, and it's like, was that it? Was that a tsunami? Meanwhile, it killed people in Alaska because there it was just huge and immediate, but by the time it got to us, it had it had lost its volume, but it had still had its motion and speed, because the water just smoothed out like glass, and a little ripple went through real fast. Was that it? And that was it. But I mean, so I can't even imagine being at the epicenter of a volcano going off like we just saw. Yeah. And underwater is just boof, because that's kind of like the one that happened in I think it was the Indian Ocean back on Boxing Day 2011 or whatever it was, where it wiped out like 200,000 people. That underwater landslide. So I would assume that a volcanic eruption would be similar in the way it moved the water.
I don't know, because the landslide, the speed would probably be decided by the amount of earth and how fast it's moving.
That had moved, yeah.
Right. Where this is an explosion where it just completely shot out, and from the satellite photos, if you look, you can actually see the sound ripples that went across there.
Yes,
both
the
of them,
concussion.
And then the water and the smoke and everything else.
And that huge ash cloud. And that thing was underwater when it went off?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
sorry, bro, that's awesome. awesome.
And they were talking about now that they're worried about acid rain.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'll be coming down.
Well, yeah, 'cause
so
I remember when St. Helens went off, we had acid rain for almost 2.5 years.
yeah, but that was over there. We didn't have it here.
We didn't have it here. No, it was all in the ash cloud.
Yep.
But and then what was that one? Kilimanjaro is the wrong. Krakatoa. That when that went off, that had an acid rain for like 3 or 4 years because the cloud that it created circled the planet and even cooled us off for a couple. So
yeah, well,
global warming. Good cure to global warming. More volcanoes going off.
St. Helens, it did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
it almost went all the way around too.
And it cooled the global temperature by what, like almost a full degree.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I remember even down here in Klamath, where they used the ash from St. Helens to build the dikes.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what the heck?
I still have a jar of St. Helens ash.
Yeah. A lot of people were buying that
self-gathered.
A lot of people were buying that stuff, though. Yeah. I didn't even bother. It was funny because when the volcano went off, I didn't realize it.
I was living in Skyway, so I didn't know when it went off, but after it did, I got up on the roof of my house and watched it.
Yeah. Well, I thought actually that it was me. I was in White Center, and I had this girlfriend, and we were going at it all hot and heavy, and just as we both did our thing, the earth moved. And I was like, damn, we're good. And then my brother gives me a call. Hey, Gary, did you know that St. Helens went off? What's St. Helens?
So yeah, it was a. I'd like to go to St. Helens now, but you can't. You can't go in the park because they've made it a park. Because I bet if you went to some source streams and stuff, you could probably find gold.
Yeah, more than likely.
Because that kind of stuff comes up when those kind of eruptions happen.
Yeah, which is probably why they won't let you go in there now, is because the government is in there panning.
No, I don't think they're in there getting anything out of it. They're just keeping us from actually being in there. But whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. So Tsunami. I wonder. That was watching that video. That was a pretty huge explosion. I wonder if that if it created any kind of cone that came out of the water.
Well, I think we're going to have to wait for a while for everything to settle.
Yeah, because I remember a few years ago when there was a
little island that just appeared,
trying a little volcano trying to create an island, and I guess a few years ago they said it finally succumbed to the ocean. It had eroded it down to below sea level again. It'll be back.
Oh yeah.
I
wonder if anybody put a flag on there so the ships know not to go across.
I don't know. Sandbar, wham! So yeah.
All that volcanic ash, though, lava, that'd probably do a pretty nasty job to the
actually,
bottom of a boat.
that stuff's kind of soft.
Well, only if it's true ash and went to pumice.
Yeah.
But if volcanic rock, it's like
that pillow lava, which is what happens when it's erupting underwater, is very brittle. Oh. You can't really. If you had a canoe made out of balsa wood, then yes, you'd be in danger. But if you have a boat with a fiberglass bottom, you're probably going to be okay unless you try and I'm not going to hurt my boat. Oh, yeah, you are. But if you just kind of scrape it, you're going to mostly get scratches in your paint and break the pillows themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that around Hawaii and everything, some of the reefs there they suck. And that's volcanic.
Some of it.
I got to tell you this story talking about Hawaii. Oh. Yeah. I took my son and my mother and my father to Hawaii one year.
Okay. Right?
And so we're there in Honolulu, and we're staying at the Hawaiian Hilton Inn, right? anyhow, so we go out on the beach, and me and my dad, my mom, she's sitting on the beach, in her swimsuit playing in the sand and shit. And so me and my dad and my son, we all went out and was trying to boogie board. And we get out there and everything, and my son, he kept, the wave would come in and he'd hit his foot or his knee or something on the coral, and he'd cut himself a couple of times and everything. And finally, this one time, all of a sudden I hear him go, "Shit!" And he says, beep the bleeping plane. He says, "We can bleep and walk home from here." He's standing up, and the water's not even up to his gill, and he's way out off the beach, All of a sudden, a wave comes in and hits him in the back of the head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. Go lay down. Go on. Until you can talk into a microphone, you're not welcome here during the recording. Now go.
Yeah, see? See that look? He's like, I speak German. Was ist los, Lufterscheiße?
All die Mädchens muss man lieben.
See? Nothing. Nothing!
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, yeah. I have beautiful memories of Hawaii and horrible memories of Hawaii, and a lot of times in the morning I would go out, because surfing in the morning is just fantastic because the tourists aren't up yet.
No.
And so you got a lot of time to yourself out there, and you're right, a lot of times you'd be out there because like the beach kind of shuffles off, and then there's the coral reef, and then it drops off, and there's nothing. And so like the beach to where it first drops off, 3-5 feet, and then it's over your head, and then you get to the coral reef, and you can stand on it, and it's at your knees. You're like, this is kind of dangerous. I'm gonna get hurt if I wipe out. And yes, you do. I've got plenty of scars all over my legs and back from goddamn coral reefs. Oh, it's beautiful, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, it was fun. We had a good time.
I got real lucky and never ever stepped on a sea urchin. Real lucky.
Yeah. Well, I didn't either, but I didn't get to spend that much time in the water. We were only there for a week. And
yeah. See, I lived there off and on. So
yeah, my mother, she had MS, and so I'd go ahead and I'd push her in a wheelchair. But first thing in the morning, she'd call me up 7 o'clock in the morning, every morning. It's time for breakfast. Okay, so we'd have to go to breakfast, and didn't matter how late I was out or what I was doing. 7 o'clock, the phone rang. We had to go to breakfast.
Well, yeah.
So I'd push her off. We'd go to Denny's or wherever, and yeah. And my dad, he wanted to play all night, right? So Mom and my son, they would all, they would go back to their rooms, and watch TV. My mom would go to sleep, and, this kind of stuff.
You and Dad are out gallivanting all damn night.
And me and Dad would go out and everything, do karaoke until
these drinks are
they
cheap.
Closed, until they
Not
closed
anymore.
up.
Yeah.
And then turn around and head back, and here it is, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, fall into bed, then the phone rings at 7. It's like, I took a book to read. I wanted to sit by the pool or on the beach and just read, relax.
Yeah.
Never got to open it. I got to read part of it on the way to Hawaii, but I had to sit next to my mother on the way back and never got to open it. So I love my parents dearly, but next time I go on vacation, they ain't. Of course, my mother passed away, so now,
So it'll be all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I spent a lot of time in Hawaii, and it was fun. Like I said, I was there for that tsunami that happened when that must have been in the 90s.
Well, there was one that happened a few years back that hit California. And I remember they were talking, the news was really... It kind of reminds me a lot of COVID right now.
Okay.
The news was really talking this tsunami up because it was some big offshore earthquake,
Okay.
underwater earthquake. And and they were saying, the tsunami could be really big. Then people needed to stay away from the beaches and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And I'm watching the news and I'm waiting, and everything, and all.
Is this another Fukushima?
Yeah. And then there's somebody there in California that's got their camera going. They're waiting for the tsunami to hit. And you can see it was like, I don't know, a regular wave coming in.
Mm-hmm.
This was more like a ripple where somebody just kind of threw a rock in the water.
Yeah.
And that you could barely see it coming.
Yeah, that was like the
And
one
it was
in Hawaii.
slow. It was slow. Just it just and it's like that was the tsunami that they just built all out of proportion.
Oh, because it died by the time it got to the beach.
Yeah.
Which can happen.
Yeah.
Depending on how far out and how strong or weak the
current
slide, eruption, whatever was,
But but they really blew it out of proportion. I mean,
yeah.
you if you would have been standing on the beach, you wouldn't have noticed it.
You're going to need to get your tsunami passport. We're going to need to know that you know how to react to tsunamis and take precautions.
Learn to swim.
Get your tsunami booster.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was funny. But
Himalayan sea salt does not come from the Himalayas. It comes from Pakistan.
yeah, I was thinking that it was a different country, but there is a place in Utah. At first, that's what I was thinking when you said Himalayan sea salt. But it was...
there's a place in Utah that has sea salt, yeah.
Yeah, and stuff is really good. It's got a unique flavor to it. It doesn't just taste like salt,
Yeah.
And it actually has a really good flavor to it. But it's out of a cobalt cave where I guess one time the ocean had been over the ground there.
Oh, yeah, because there used to be the Great Western Sea or whatever.
Yeah. Anyhow,
millions of years ago.
But the water had got trapped inside the deal, and then it just finally just turned all into a salt deal. So anyway, but they've been mining that out and everything, and it's colored. I mean, you got you can see the different minerals and stuff that are in it. But God, it's good, and it's not that expensive.
It's
either.
beautiful on steak.
Yeah. It's not bad on eggs either.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't really salt my eggs because usually when I have eggs, I'm having bacon at the same time or ham.
Yeah.
And there's enough ham. There's enough ham on the ham because it's been hammed. There's enough salt on the ham because it's been cured or the
brined,
bacon.
yeah.
So I usually don't add salt to my eggs when in breakfast time.
I don't if I
pepper.
I don't if I put them all together, because a lot of times, especially with ham, I'll cut it up in chunks, and everything, and then I'll cut up some potatoes.
And you may or may not make an omelet.
No, I don't even bother with an omelet most of the time. Sometimes I will, but most of the time, when I'm doing that, it's because, my wife and my daughter are home, and so I'm feeding all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go ahead and I'll take the potatoes, and I'll cut them all up, and I'll start frying those. I'll take the ham, I'll throw it in there. I'll scramble up eggs, throw it in there. Some green peppers and onions and some garlic, and throw that all in there.
Yeah, see, so you don't need salt.
Yeah, and just stir it all up and everything. And, my daughter and I, we usually take some shredded cheddar cheese and throw that over the top of it once it's in the plate. My wife don't like cheese, so... But,
I don't trust people who don't like cheese. Don't like cheese? What's wrong with you? Because, see, now, some people can't eat cheese. But that's different from not liking cheese.
Yeah, well, you got to remember she's from China, and she didn't have a whole lot of that kind of stuff,
Which is the reason she should like it more.
Yeah, because when she was young...
Look at this tree!
She didn't even get milk, It's like I
didn't get milk when I was young. We got this white powdered shit.
Yeah, the powdered milk. Yeah, we used to get that from the commissary when I was... Well, not the commissary, but... when my dad was out of work, we used to go to this place, and it wasn't like I guess it was kind of like a food bank back then, but that's not what they called it. But we would get powdered milk and powdered eggs,
Yep.
And got a lot of rice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, my mother sucked at
Rice,
cooking rice.
Spam, powdered eggs, powdered
Spam.
milk, fucking... The orange shit, tang, whatever.
Well, that hadn't been invented yet.
Oh.
Yeah, when we were doing that, we didn't. Tang hadn't been in.
Everything that could be powdered was powdered,
Yeah.
and anything that had any good flavor was not.
Oh, we also
available.
got a lot of split peas from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, I still like split pea soup.
I'd-
My mother could actually cook that, but rice, oh my gosh.
I say I can eat any. Those Fear Factors where they're eating horse dicks and cockroaches. I'm like, I would win that show right now.
Yeah.
I've eaten things that would make what they say in Rambo. He can eat things that make a billy goat puke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually eaten things that made me puke.
Well, yeah. I'm right on top of it. Bleh.
Yeah, mainly because I didn't know what it was I was eating. I was just hungry and had to find something. Yeah, but that's a problem when you leave home early and you don't know where you're going.
Got no learnings.
Yeah. So that was actually kind of cool though. But I mean, I've eaten grub worms. I've eaten the potato bugs.
Oh yeah.
Fried
Fried up ants, crickets, spiders. I've had all kinds of weird stuff.
last year. I've had skunk. I've had porcupine, raccoon.
But see, here's the thing: if you deep fry it, doesn't matter what the fuck it is, because if it's small enough, you're just eating batter.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that I never bothered with. Didn't have much deep frying. I used my bacon grease mostly for candles.
I use mine for frying. You gotta fry stuff in that bacon grease.
Well, I'd make bacon if I had the milk or the powdered milk, then I would make gravy out of it. But most of the time and everything, I just took a piece of twine and a toilet paper roll and set it on a saucer or a piece of wood, and then fill it with bacon grease and everything, and like that. And that was my candle, and it worked quite well. Except there was a downside to it.
It stank.
Every time you lit it, your mouth watered because your place smelled like bacon. So,
That's
anyhow.
where scented candles came from, folks.
Yeah, except those scents are good.
Yeah.
I don't like those flowery ones.
No,
All that perfume stuff.
all that pot pourri.
But yeah,
Tsunamis are cool. Deadly, but cool.
Unless you're in them.
Kind of like a nuclear bomb. Nuclear bombs are cool. That dog is ready to be a star of this show.
No, he is just an
Gary Veg
attention
and
whore.
Shinzo.
He is an attention whore. He's been at it all morning.
Sorry, buddy.
But yeah, the tsunamis. I mean, the I saw that one that hit Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. They just even around here we have tsunami paths.
There's definitely evidence of tsunamis here, yeah.
Yeah, and so they've got all kinds of stuff for when it happens.
They say if the Cascadia fault line would unzip, we might just have tidal waves up to our house here. We're 300 and something feet above sea level.
Yeah.
And we are a good 150 miles away from that fault line.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they've been saying that the whole this side of the Cascades could just drop off.
and we keep hoping, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, especially from the governor's mansion to the Seattle.
Yeah, if Seattle dropped
Seattle
into
there.
the sea, imagine a nice big earthquake causing enough liquefaction to just let Seattle slide into the Sound. Yes. What's the first thing you would do? I'd get on a boat and I'd go look for the Federal Reserve. I'm not stupid.
No, I would just do my best to find a little handle and everything so I could flush. Make sure it's down there. But, no, they've been talking about that for a long time, though, and we're supposed to be getting a 9.0 earthquake. They keep telling us, yeah. And
Am I a horrible person? Because I want it to happen? Yes. Can I live with that? Yes.
if you're lucky, I mean,
Oh, we're far enough away that if it happens over where they say it's going to happen, we might feel it. I don't think we'll get hurt from it.
yeah. Well, my biggest problem is, I spend all my time in the basement, but that's where my chair is.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm fairly safe where I'm at.
I think we're safe here. The nine point anything hits Seattle. I think we're all right here in Tacoma.
Yeah.
We'll feel it though.
Yeah. Well, I ain't too worried about it one way or the other. It's just, if it happens, it happens.
I wonder if it would make a tsunami through the Puget Sound.
It probably
Because
would.
if Seattle slid into the Sound, I suppose it would create a nice big wave that would wash over Alki and then Bremerton.
Well, and not only that, but there's also the water displacement, so the water level would have to come up anyway to
Well,
make
that's what I'm
room
saying.
for
It would.
water.
And then,
Yeah. Even if it didn't make a big wave, it'd have to come up, But then again, all the people in Seattle, if they're still on there, then there's not that much water displacement because their heads are empty and the water just fill it up,
Yeah. Hopefully. Empty-headed Seattleites.
I shouldn't say that, but Jesus, the way that Seattle is right now.
It's a garbage city with a garbage mayor, with a garbage governor, and we're the only ones to blame for the garbage governor. I keep voting for someone else, but somehow he keeps getting elected. Plus, that senator, what's that tennis shoe, what's her name? Murray. Patty Murray. Garbage. She is a tsunami of garbage.
Well, I'm going to say pretty much any of them that you point at right at this point is about there.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, anyway. But yeah, so that was the tsunami bit, because I heard about it, and I had to, and then I was getting emails,
Yeah.
with the
With the cresting
video
wave.
links and stuff like that on there, and I had to look.
Yeah.
So,
I hadn't heard about it until I walked in the door. When did it happen?
a couple of days ago, I
Yeah,
guess.
so
Yeah.
shows you how much I watch the news.
Well, I don't watch the news, I heard it on my refrigerator, So.
Your refrigerator.
It likes to gossip.
more milk. A tsunami has occurred near Tonga.
You're right about the milk.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes, man.
But yeah, I saw the video on that. It was just, oh my God, that was huge. Anyway,
I'll probably watch it again when I get home because I want to see the cloud. But it doesn't look like it was quite as devastating a tsunami as what happened at Fukushima or Boxing Day or back when Alaska got smashed in the 70s.
yeah. Well, it still did enough.
It did enough.
But,
people died.
yeah, too many. I don't know enough about Tonga to know how the landscape is.
It's an island nation, so
Yeah,
it
so
was
did they
definitely a susceptible.
Yeah. Now the question is, did they have any time? How much time did they have from the time it hit to the time that from the time that of the eruption
when the
to
mountain
it
blew up
actually-
to when
yeah.
they actually. Yeah, well, they probably had plenty of time since it was only 6,600 because I know those nations have large populations and for the most part those populations are coastal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I'd have been to the high point as soon as I heard about it.
it ain't no joke. I mean, even with that little wave when it came through when I was in Hawaii, everybody was up on that hill. Even the people were like, yeah, it's like, yeah, well, you're up here doing the aren't you? It's not going to be that big a deal. Yeah, well, go down there. Well, for safety. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah,
And they were
better be
right.
safe
It
than
wasn't
sorry.
wasn't
Yeah.
a big deal because it had traveled so far and
Yeah.
lost a lot of its
Steam.
well, not steam because it went by so fast. So it was still moving fast. It just didn't have
The volume.
the volume behind it
Yeah.
that it had when it was first birthed.
Yeah. So this year, come to think of it, well, actually just barely this year.
We're only half a month into this year.
Yeah, but when you think about it, what was it? Just after the first, all those tornadoes hit.
In the Midwest, yeah.
Yeah, and then Now they're getting slammed on the East Coast with the freezing weather.
Yeah.
You had, what was it, 20 or 48 hours or 40 hours, something like that. Those people stuck on a freeway, and the ice and snow, and now they're getting blasted again with a major winter storm on the East Coast.
Yeah. Climate change is real, folks. It's unstoppable. Doesn't matter how many dollars you give to your government, you're not going to stop climate change.
No. But it's just amazing to me how fast everything is hitting all at once. And it's picking up speed. Every year it picks up speed.
Well, it's because climate change is progressing. Every year it's getting more and more adverse to what we are accustomed to. Like when I was 12, I lived here in this state, and in October it snowed.
Yep.
Now I live here in this state, and it doesn't even snow sometimes. The weather changes. The planet is moving. These things are going to be constantly getting worse for the foreseeable future.
Well, when I was young, I remember very well we had the 7 and 11 year cycle. Okay, I mean everything was clockwork. Okay. Every 7 years, you had a certain weather pattern that would come through, and it would hit. Okay, that was every 7 years, and then every 11 years, you'd have a different kind of pattern come through, and like clockwork, And then all of a sudden, things started to change back in the 70s, and it started getting to where you couldn't really tell one way or the other. But still, when I first came up here in 77. Okay, I was up here for almost 2 months. Okay, and the first 2 or 3 weeks that I was here, it did nothing but rain. Every day it rained, and it was like, holy cow, And then the rain stopped finally, and we got to go outside, and mess around. And then after 2 weeks of no rain, they started yelling drought. And I had to laugh because, I was out of Grants Pass, and, it's drought after 2 weeks of no rain. And, and you just had 2 weeks of rain, It was, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So, and then it got to where we don't get as much rain as we used to.
No.
And the snow, it used to be that if the snow, that it might snow, a little bit here and there, but it was mainly the end of January, beginning to the middle of February where you really got the snow, And then, but now you just never know. I mean, we had good snow in October a couple of years ago, and now all of a sudden, we've got, snow. The first time I've ever seen a white Christmas here, Well, they were talking about it, but then we never actually got it.
I've had a few white Christmases here, but I remember 70s, 80s going to Stevens Pass to go skiing, and they'd have a 300-inch base. About 5 years ago, I went to go snowboarding with some friends, maybe 6 years ago, and there were rocks sticking out because the snow wasn't thick enough to cover it up, and they had to do the fake snow shit.
Yeah, and that's been going on for a few years.
Yeah, so I'm just like, oh.
I have a picture. I have a photo album, and I have a couple of pictures of Mount Rainier. Okay, now this is back in like 82, 81, when I was driving cab. Yeah, when I was driving cab, And last year, I think it was, or the year before, I was working out in Roy, and they had a real nice view of the mountain. And towards the end of the summer, I mean, it was like almost no snow. It's like, dang, I'd never seen that much of the mountain before.
Yeah,
so I was really happy to see that we were getting so much this year.
Because global warming is real.
Yeah.
It's called climate change, and we may have this much to do with it, and if we stop that much, it's not going to stop it from happening.
Now, I have to tell you this.
And it's not going to slow it down either.
I had a vegetarian once tell me that it was you and my fault
Because the cows fart?
Because of cow's flatulence. And I said, yeah, and that's where you're falling short. If you would eat cows, then you would help us get rid of them, and then they're not going to be so much flatulence.
Yeah.
You know? Of course, I didn't bother telling him, that, hey, I'm pretty flatulent myself.
The cows are eating grass, and I'm eating the cow, so I'm vegetarian by proxy.
Guilt by association.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Yeah, my food eats your food.
The arrogance of man is amazing. The hubris is saddening. To think that the small contribution that we have to the global warming is reversible. Global warming is not going to be reversible by anything we do. It's going to be continual. It's going to happen. Because those people that aren't science deniers, those people that are vaccinated, they should understand that scientists have told them that over the billions of years that the Earth has been around, it has been a molten mass, and then a ball of water, and then a ball of ice, and then a molten mass, and then and there's this cycle, and the science behind it. If you want to believe in science, then you have to believe that man doesn't really have any way to stop what's coming. We just don't. We gotta adapt to it. Now that's the part that I'm just glad I'm not gonna have to adapt. I'm just gonna live
I
5,
disagree.
6 more years and be good.
I do believe that there is a way we can change it. We have the tools. It's called Charmin.
No.
Yeah.
No. We can't stop climate change.
Yeah.
Cannot.
You spread the Charmin all over the North Pole and South Pole, all through the Arctic and Antarctic, and then that reflects all the light back up in there. And then, since it's biodegradable, it goes ahead and breaks down. There you go. See?
I guess you're creating jobs because everyone's going to have to put Charmin out every time, all the time. Of course, it's hard to work in the Arctic, so you're going to have to be specialized.
Well, the toilet paper freezes; it won't break down as fast.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, the reflecting the sun's light back out, they say will prolong our agony. So go ahead, paint your roof white, paint your sidewalk white. Let the sun reflect back. It is what it is. But I mean, you can't stop nature.
Yeah, well, that's
Ask those people in Tonga.
That's my opinion, is that eventually nature is going to take control and actually fix itself.
Nature is in control.
Well, yeah.
We are not.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to take control. It's in control.
Oh, what's the name of that movie? I've got it, too.
If this planet wanted to slough us off,
Day After Tomorrow.
There'd be nothing we could do about it.
Day After Tomorrow. Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, that one there, that I can believe could actually do the trick.
That's what's going to happen. I hate those world-end scenario movies because somehow humans fix it and live. It's just like,
Well, that one, they didn't fix it.
No, but they lived.
Yeah, well, some did.
I like the new one, Don't Look Up. That's a good one.
I haven't seen that one.
That's a good one. It's got the right ending.
Oh, everybody wiped out?
Yes. There's a comet coming towards Earth.
Oh, okay.
And we die.
Lucifer's Hammer.
That's a great book.
Yeah.
I read that all.
I would like them to make a movie out of that.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Especially when they're traveling around on the railroad tracks with the truck. It's like, that's pretty smart to get around that way. Shouldn't be anything in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was an awesome book. It took a little bit for me to get into it, though. Because Larry Niven, he's an awesome writer, but he's always slow at the beginning to pick things up.
Yeah.
And, where I was used to Piers Anthony, and Stephen King and this kind of stuff where, they're quicker on the upkeep,
Yeah.
and everything moves a little bit faster.
They want to get you to the death right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucifer Hammer is a good book.
Oh, awesome book, yes. So, that's what we're going to have to do, is do a nice little book report on some of the the books.
I've got a lot of books that I still haven't read, just because I've got so many in the way, and I find myself in 3 books, and then I'm just like, fuck, now I'm mixing them all up, and then I gotta knock it down to 1 book. And like, I got 2 really good cookbooks. I got What the Fuck Am I Gonna Make for Dinner, and the other one is cooking like a hoodlum or something like that. I haven't looked at it too closely. Plus, I got Babish's recipes, so I'm getting ready to do some real good cooking over the next couple months.
Well, there you go. Because I tried doing a cooking video the other day.
Yeah.
Last week, in fact. I made a real nice dinner, so I was going to go ahead and do one on cornbread, and then I baked some chicken legs, and I do it differently. And so I went ahead and I was going to do that. But for some strange reason, the beginning of each recipe, nothing there. What came out and everything was when I pulled the cornbread out of the oven, and I cut the cornbread. It was nice, and when I pulled the chicken out, it showed, that the chicken was perfect. I actually said it was perfect. That's the way it was supposed to come out. Everything that showed how to prepare it, not there. I was so ticked. We had a good dinner,
Yeah.
We had cornbread, we had the baked chicken legs, and we had pinto beans, and then we had some fried potatoes, and I can't remember what the vegetables were, but
A friend of mine did a couple of podcasts episodes called Recipe for Disaster. I think I'm gonna jump on that train, get a hot plate and some cameras, and see what I can cook with minimal stuff. Because I've seen these podcasts where they like cook food with an iron and shit like that. I'm not trying to do that. I just want to see what I can cook on a hot plate and see if I can follow recipes in these books that I got.
well, you can. The easiest way to do it though is like in a Dutch oven. If you want to cook anything on just a hot plate or a single source of heat, a Dutch oven is the way to go because it's cast iron. It's got the cast iron lid, and so the heat comes all the way around. I mean, you can bake bread in those things. You can make stew. You can make anything in a Dutch oven.
I made cookies in my cast iron pan last night. Nice cookie cake. And we ate it all. Because we're gluttons.
Yeah, well, my wife, she brings home so much sweet stuff, I don't even bother anymore. We got cake mixes and cookie mixes, got cookie dough. No reason to even bother because we've already got stuff that she keeps bringing home,
Yeah.
I do every once in a while just put my foot down and I go ahead and I make like banana bread, or nut bread, this kind of stuff, But, every once in a while I really want an oatmeal raisin cookie that's not store-bought, something that ain't going to break your tooth. So anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm debating on whether or not I want to actually do something once a week because I have a couple of friends that are chefs. Like one guy is a chef on the Microsoft campus, and another guy is he works. God, he's chefing at a golf course right now, but he's not at the North Shore where I met him because their kitchen is still not rebuilt yet. But yeah, so I mean, I got a couple people plus you, so I mean, we could do something once a month. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
I was out there peeing on your trailer, and I was like, we should do a show about rebuilding that fucking thing.
Well, yeah, except got to have the money for it.
Why? What's in there that we need money to do?
Oh,
Because we can pull stuff out, and we can rebuild stuff with scrap wood, right?
Yeah, that part would be all right. It's just, like the mattress and the cushions and this kind of stuff. The table, though, I am going to do. I got to get the new legs for it because I want to be able to just disconnect the table, and pull it out of the way and use that for the
Another
bed.
bed, yeah.
Yeah, and but as far as I can tell, the ones that are on there, you can't do that. They're actually fasten at both ends.
Huh.
You know, and where I thought you should be able to turn them to lock them in and unlock them, I can't get them to turn. But I can go down here and get new ones and put those on, and then they will actually turn.
They function, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe if I take the table off and take an old oil filter wrench or something, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Break them loose. Maybe
Yeah.
there's something going on.
yeah. The problem is, see, I don't know anything really about it. You know, I've got to.
I don't know anything about what I'm doing.
I've got the owner's manual, but it seems kind of vague.
Yeah.
You know, so, and it's an old owner's manual, so.
Well, it's not like the what's that, the Chiltons, where it shows you how to break down your engine.
Yeah. You know how hard it is to find a decent repair manual for a car anymore that's not online?
Impossible?
Damn near. You know? Like for that truck out there that I got, you know, I mean, try and find that. You know, you can order it if you got plenty of time and money.
Right.
You know, so I ended up having to buy a 1-year subscription online to get to where I could actually see to where I could, you know, figure out how to do some of this stuff.
Subscription. Can't just buy. You got to get a subscription. Everything's a subscription.
Yeah, you know, so you gotta, instead of just buying the book, you gotta buy it every year.
Well, it's like the Pro Tools. I used to record music with Pro Tools, and so every couple years they'd have a new one. And
Right.
If I want to upgrade, I buy it and buy it and buy the new one, buy the new one. But now, it's a subscription. So you can have Pro Tools all you want if you can afford the yearly subscription. But once the subscription runs out, then you no longer have the access to the stuff because it's all online in this Pro Tools cloud.
Right.
Because on my old computer, the one that I had the actual physical program on, got all kinds of stuff. But when I went with the subscription on my new computer, it had everything you needed to do it, but it didn't have all the stuff that I had before.
Right, all the bells and whistles.
And as soon as my subscription ran out, well, now I can't even mess around with it at my leisure offline without renewing my subscription. Sucks.
Yeah, well, that's why I quit buying Sony products. You know, there for a while, the Bluetooth things, you couldn't get upgrades, you know, updated without paying for it.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then I bought 3 Sony cameras, you know, video cameras, and that's what we did the Stephen Gary show with, right? And then when they went from Windows XP, the cameras wouldn't work anymore.
Right.
And I tried getting the software upgrade, you know, and no upgrade, no update.
They don't have one.
They wouldn't do it. And even after I emailed them, you know, saying, hey, you know, now I can't use these 3 cameras that I just bought, you know, a couple of years ago, and I've still got the cameras in here, but I can't use them. I can't even see what's on the tapes.
Well, see,
you know.
what you have to do is you have to go get a computer and load Windows XP onto it so you can use those.
Yeah.
So you got to actually have an old computer that is not usable to use that stuff.
Yeah.
Because the same thing with because I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 5 computers out in my garage, and only 2 of them are plugged in because only 2 of them are viable anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, it's just same as to me. Like if you buy a product from a company, as long as that product still works and is functional, they should stand by it.
Well, see, that's the thing, though.
Either that or make sure that
they used to make stuff for you to use forever. Mm-hmm. Now they make stuff for you to use for a couple years. And now buy the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't support that one anymore. Buy this new one.
Yeah.
Well, can I give you this one in exchange? No. Well, will you give me money for it? Oh, no.
Right. Yeah. So that's why I don't buy Sony products anymore. I don't care how much better they are. You know, if they're not going to stand by it and to where I can continue to use it.
If I buy a Sony product today and I can't use it tomorrow,
yeah, what's the point?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, but yeah, and the whole point is the cameras still work great. It's just you can't interface them to a computer.
Right.
Yeah. You plug it in with the FireWire, it doesn't recognize it. You plug it in with a USB, it doesn't recognize it.
Yeah.
And it's like
Because the driver's missing.
right.
And you can find the driver, but you can't put it on this computer because it's only for Windows XP.
Yeah, or earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Millennium. Yeah.
Millennial. You
So.
fucking millennials.
Yeah, so I don't even mess with Sony stuff anymore. It's just I figure they're just not reputable in my opinion anymore. But so that's something else I wouldn't mind doing too, and that's doing another show kind of like the Stephen Gary show. Where,
Yeah.
Did skits.
Well, if you ever do, I have a friend that's got a Roku channel.
Yeah.
He wants me to do stuff. I'm just like, man, I'm lazy. Well, you want me to do stuff, bro? I'm lazy. I find myself sitting in my garage at least 15 hours out of the day anymore. Oop, what? I was supposed to do a show. Hang on. Blah 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 blah. Oop, oop. Oh God, I gotta edit that now.
I've done that a couple of times. For a while I was doing Saturday night shows, so I get up at 4:30 in the morning on Saturday, to go to work, and then I come home, I eat, take my shower, come down here, and then I would, start trying to go, and there was twice that I'm sitting there and the music is going good, but nobody's really interacting with me. I've got listeners, but nobody's really interacting, And next thing I know, I'm waking up and it's like an hour later, and everything, and I'm looking, oh shit, and it's dead air. There's nothing, So I got it now to where, unless I stop it at the end of each song, it'll go to the next song on the playlist. So if
you hear me snoring above the music, just know it's because you didn't interact with me.
Yeah, so that way there, if I pass out again, at least the music will continue, But I go ahead and I make sure I have a good playlist ahead of time, so I'm not just picking songs as I go.
Right.
Like last night, I did a show, and it was I had 2.5 hours of music to start with, and then I had people that were actually requesting other songs, and then I got to the end of that list, but I still had so many people, and it was late, but now I was tired, but it was like, okay, I don't want to quit just yet, so I'm looking and I'm finding new songs to put on there, to extend it out.
Yeah.
So I had another hour and a half, something like that, of music, that I put into the playlist, and some comedians and stuff. And
Yeah.
went ahead and just, played that until it was done, and then finally I was like, okay, that's all I got for you tonight, man. I'm tired. I got to go to bed, so I went to bed. So I made it to bed about midnight last night. But
I was live streaming once and doing my video game thing, and I woke up like this on the keyboard. Oh shit! The game had been so long that the game had actually disconnected from the internet. It's just like, hey, you're no longer online. Great, how long has it been? And then I got the review, and it's like, you were online for 4 hours, and I was like, okay, so that, and then I was sleeping on my keyboard for an hour and a half. Hooray!
yeah, see, that's why I don't play video games very much. In fact, I gave you one.
I know, I still haven't got a DVD player to play it with.
Yeah, because
why don't computers come with DVD players anymore? Oh, because everything's downloaded now.
Yeah, pretty much, But, that's why I build mine, I mean, I built my computers. This one here, I put the DVD player, or it's a Blu-ray player. But,
Well, I when I bought my computer, I bought it specifically with the idea to do, podcasts, so recording video and stuff. So the computer itself was like $600, and the video card was another $900. So it's more than the computer. But what I didn't know when I bought the computer, because I saw 2 drives, I was like, okay, good, it's got what I want. But what I didn't know was one drive was a
card reader,
optical optical hard drive, and the other was a solid state hard drive. I thought the optical drive was a CD-ROM or DVD, and so I was wrong about that.
Well, if you have an expansion port, you can get one. And
Definitely got an expansion, but I can just USB an external.
Yeah,
so it's just a matter of number one, doing it, and number two, doing it.
Yeah, I haven't bought a computer in forever, other than a laptop.
Well, I bought that thing a year before I even plugged it in. Had it for a year in the box. Finally said, well, whatever. Took it out of the box, plugged it in. Oh, shit, it's great. This is awesome. Hey, I'm going to play some vids.
Yeah, I decided I was going to build this computer because I wanted to do the radio station.
Yeah.
I wanted to do Rubber Chicken Radio. And then I decided that I was going to try and do some recording again, music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to be able to do the audio processing.
Right.
And that's why I bought the motherboard that I did and everything. And, I eventually am going to go ahead and get an actual sound card, because right now I'm using the onboard.
The onboard stuff, yeah.
Same with the video. So I can go ahead and do the...
yeah, but you got an external sound card right there. Right there. Boom.
This?
Yep.
But, so I'm going to go ahead and do that eventually. But, other than that, but the whole idea was just to do the radio station and record the music, and so... and it's been doing pretty good.
Yeah, see, and I think mine could do a radio station. I just don't have the... I don't have the drive to do an actual radio station. I'd rather just do podcasts and my live stream. Because watching you, that's way more work than I want to do. I'm fucking retired, bro.
Well, I enjoy it. It's, I really like the idea of having the radio station, and I like, I love the music.
Yeah.
And and like with the podcast and all that kind of stuff, it all works together quite well.
Oh yeah.
And as far as the radio station itself goes, it's not a lot of work. I find the music.
He's lying straight to me. Lying straight to me.
But like with the podcast,
a lot of work.
The podcast, like, what was it? Not this last one, but the one before that, where we had the commercials. Okay, that one there was a lot of work.
I bet you had to edit the hell out of it, didn't you?
Yeah, I started at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or no, it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I started, and I had to stop to get dinner ready, and I kept going, and we were supposed to go out, but I decided not to, and I ended up editing until 11 p.m. before it was done. And it was supposed to be on the air by 7.
How does that compare to editing music? Like the song you wrote and released?
The one this time?
Yeah.
The recording, since there's nobody else, I don't have like a band,
Right.
So, I have to play it on the guitar. That particular song is the only one that I ever wrote without an instrument.
Okay.
And I was actually at work, and I was thinking of the girl I was, this one girl, and so...
Don't tell your wife.
Anyhow, so I went ahead but I started...
We'll just glide over that like a tsunami.
So I started thinking about the lyrics and everything, and the tune just kind of popped in my head. And so then I had to go home, get my guitar, and learn how to play it.
Right.
And so then I played it on the guitar for a while. Well, then when I decided to record it, I had to figure out, okay, well, what kind of a beat is it, and so then I went ahead and I got the drum program to where I could do the drums, and then I used the keyboard for the other background music, and then I went ahead and I sang it, and then I had to do the background vocals. So I had to do a high vocal, medium vocal, and a low vocal. And blend it all together.
Right.
And so the recording took a long time because
Right.
I had to learn to do each thing.
Right.
And as far as the mixing goes, it didn't take that long.
So the recording was definitely longer than the mixing.
Oh yeah. Because I
Okay.
had to actually learn how to play it.
Okay.
And then once I learned how to play it, then I could record it. And then once I got the recording done, which took a lot to get it to where I could do it right.
Because and the only reason I ask that is because as a musician myself, I'm in there. Like the last song I recorded, I taught myself how to play all the parts, played all the parts. It took me 1 hour to write the song.
Yeah.
It took me 15 hours to record the song. It took me 6 months to get it to where I was happy with it to release.
Yeah. Where with me and everything, it took me, let's see here, it took me probably half an hour, 45 minutes maybe to actually write the lyrics, or to come up with the lyrics.
Right, and the beat and the stuff in your head.
Well, then that just kind of,
What was in your head, 30 minutes, maybe an hour.
Yeah, and then
that's lyrics, and then you're thinking this sound,
and I was
that
thinking,
sound,
and the
backups
tune
here.
finally came in,
Yeah.
And everything, and I decided what kind of I wanted it to do, and then of course I had to go home and then learn how to play it on the guitar,
right.
and then everything else I had to learn how to do as I went,
Right.
And since I don't read music, I've never had a guitar lesson, I've never.
Well, see, that's
Done,
facetious, because you taught yourself to play.
Yeah.
So you those are lessons.
Okay, oh wait, I lied.
Son of a!
Yeah, because my cousin, when he gave me my first guitar when I was 8, he
Showed
taught
you where
me,
the F was.
he showed me C, F, and G,
Okay.
and he taught me.
Because country. That's why. Because I knew.
And he taught me how to pick the bass line and go boom 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 boom, with the E string and the A string,
yeah.
and then go ahead and and so I was picking and strumming at the same time, and then he went ahead and sent me off,
I remember one time a really good guitarist that I know, a friend of mine, we were trying to play a Hendrix tune, and he was getting pissed off because I was on the drums and he was playing guitar. He's like, man, this should be, what's going on here? So we watched the video, and he's like, oh, Hendrix is playing the bass with his thumb. That's what was going on. And then he specifically refuses to learn Mark Knopfler, or whatever you want to say, because that guy, phenomenal finger picker.
Oh.
I mean, it's all, if Sultan's a Swing, I dare any pick playing guitarist to learn the solo to Sultan's a Swing, because you'll never get it. You'll never get it, because that guy plays finger.
Oh.
And it's beautiful. He's probably, I would say he is in my top 10 guitarists, just because of his playing style.
Yeah, the Sultans of Swing is actually the song that I first really that got me into the Dire Straits to begin with.
I think that's what brought me into the Dire Straits. Is like, wow, that guy, oh man, listen to that guy play, holy crap. And then I got to see them live twice, and he not only is he phenomenal, but he's also barefoot.
Yeah, but they were awesome.
They're great.
And then the second song, of course, was the MTV.
Oh, that's probably.
Well,
that's probably their most popular.
Yeah. Well, that was the very first video, for
Sting
music
and
video
them.
on MTV.
That was not the first one. First one was Video Killed the Radio Star.
Ah, okay. Well,
I was there when MTV launched.
Yeah, so was I.
Because I'm old as shit, so is he.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have as good a memory.
Because I'm older than shit.
Then he didn't watch TV then.
I watched it back then, but not that much still, But yeah, I remember when MTV first came out, but that was the first video I saw on it, and I thought that was that they said that was the first one that they played. But yeah, and then I remember
the first one was "Video Killed the Radio Star."
Okay, well, now I know. But yeah, it was, and I used to really like MTV back then.
Well, back when they played music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
And then,
awesome.
then they stopped playing music, and so we all switched over to VH1 because VH1 played music.
Yeah, and then didn't they change it too?
Yep. And then we just
I think VH1 is actually where I started watching some of the old TV shows, just like CMT. That,
you know what? I think maybe VH1's first video was the "I Want My MTV."
Huh? It could be.
Because they were, you used to be so good. Now we have to do it. So I think that might be what you're thinking of.
Well, that could be.
I will research it later.
VH1, though, I did really like that when it first came out because it wasn't just music. They did aerobicize.
Oh, that's right. They did do that, didn't they?
Yeah. Be sitting there watching that real good. Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm exercising.
I'm working
my
up
brain.
I'm working up a sweat watching these ladies.
I'm getting a grip. Walk away.
Yeah, bad Gary. Bad Gary.
I'm researching tsunamis.
Yeah. Yeah, VH1 had aerobicize. Time to aerobicize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Really enjoyed that. Back in the 80s, though.
You ever watch YouTube, like the Epicurious?
No.
Okay, because it's a. I bring this up because we were talking about cooking earlier.
Yeah.
So they have this channel called Epicurious, and it's basically a cooking show because they have multiple cooking shows that are on that particular format and channel. But they have this one thing where they do 4 levels of cooking. And it's a level 1 chef, a level 2 chef, a level 3 chef, and then a food scientist. That's the level 4. The level 1 chef, I can understand. I'm a home cook, I'm a level 1 chef. The level 3 chef, I've been a chef for blah, blah, blah for 17 years. Okay, I understand. What makes a level 2 chef? Because I've watched it enough times to see that they have 5 or 6 level 2 chefs, and like one's this single lady lives at home, one's this Filipino dude who probably cooks military style for a dozen people, even though 3 are coming over, like
my house on Christmas,
or my GF's dad does. And then there's the old lady who probably cooked for family for years, and then there's the single dude who's a health nut who's like, how are you a level? So what makes a level 2 chef? I've tried to find it, I can't figure it out.
I got no clue. I don't know the difference between a cook and a chef.
The difference between a cook and a chef: a cook does fast orders, line cook, fast orders. A chef prepares meals in its entirety, gives you a 5-course meal kind of thing.
Okay.
That's the difference between a cook and a chef.
Okay, yeah, because, you're saying fast, but I was thinking like Denny's and,
yeah, those are all line cooks.
Yeah, but
Cooks.
It takes a long time to get your meal there.
Because they think they're chefs. No, those are just line cooks.
But, and then there you got the cooks over.
Because you're a home chef.
Well, you got the cooks
But
over.
are you a level 2 home chef?
I have no clue. Like I said, I'm a cook.
No,
okay?
You're a chef.
Okay, I
You're a home chef.
half the stuff I don't even know why I do what I do. I just it comes out that way.
That's why I call myself a level 1 chef, because even though I've done line cook stuff and chef stuff, when I'm at home, I'm like, maybe, well, I wonder how this will taste. Okay, whatever.
Well, that's
I'm not like, I've planned out this meal from start to finish. This is course 1. This is the in between. This is course 2. And I have to. Oh, don't forget your capers, bro. You got to have the capers on that, otherwise it's not quite there. You get the flavor profiles. So
see, I can't do that. But what I do is I decide what I'm going to.
He said, do.
I make up my mind what the meal is going to be. You know, what are we going to have for the vegetable? Are we going to have rice or potatoes? What kind of meat are we going to have? Every once in a while I'll say, okay, well, we're going to have pie for dessert. I might even go that far, right? But when I cook something, it's like I'll go ahead and I'll start doing it, and then I'll think, okay, now what do I want this to taste like? And so then I'll go ahead and I'll decide what ingredient to put where. Okay, here's a good example. Okay. I was making some chicken legs. This is probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I didn't want to do the same thing over and over and over again, right? So I went ahead and I got took some of the Special K flakes.
Okay.
Cereal.
Yeah, we do
and
that.
went ahead and I, rolled them out and everything and made my own Peko with it,
Yeah.
And so I went ahead and did that. Then I went ahead and I took some 2 eggs, because I was only making 6 legs. So I went ahead and I took 2 eggs, scrambled those up, and beat them real good. Then I added a little bit of soy sauce and put that in there and everything. And then I took some raspberry jam, and I put that in there, and along with the pepper, and and I stirred it up real good and everything. And then I went ahead and I rolled the chicken legs into that, and then put it into the Peko, and then baked it.
Okay.
And it came out with just enough sweetness to where you could taste just a little bit of the strawberry, or raspberry, I mean. And, and it came out really good. It was nice and moist. It was cooked all the way through, but it was crisp on the outside. And, and at the same time I was doing that, I went ahead and I made some cornbread and pinto beans, and I think I did mashed potatoes and gravy that time. And then we had a salad.
Yeah.
But I didn't do pie or anything that time. But it was just, I didn't want to do the same kind of flavoring I had been doing. So that decided, well, I'll try it with raspberry jam.
Yeah. I've done the same thing with chicken legs, wings, whatever. And one time I didn't have cornflakes. I had Frosted Flakes.
Oh, geez.
So I left out the sweet out of the wet mix, and just did the savory and sour in there, and then rolled it in the corn the Frosted Flakes. It was amazing. It was amazing. I was surprised, but don't do it by itself because that's not what you want. It's not honey chicken.
Yeah, see, I've done it with honey as well.
Yeah, honey's awesome. I love chicken with honey, man.
Yeah, but most of the time, if I'm going to do it, I do it, and I'm going to be in a big hurry. I'll just go ahead and I'll scramble up the eggs, and I'll take some garlic powder and onion powder, and I'll take some Mrs. Dash. And I'll put put that in there, stir it all up, and then I'll just roll it up and Peko it, and we're done. And it works fine. But it's the same thing over and over again. So I try and switch it up. Like last night, just because I went ahead and I took the same 6 legs, but I cut the bones out. I deboned it, and then went ahead and did the a little bit of soy sauce. I did some seasoning with it. I took some garlic and onions and sautéed those, and the chicken I put in the soy sauce with the garlic powder, and what else did I throw in there? Yeah, I can't remember now. But anyway, then I put it all in a bowl, and then I just stuck it in a pan of water. And put a lid on there and boiled the water, and then just stirred it while it was cooking.
Yeah.
And so it just steamed it.
Right.
Good. And, man, that came out really, really good. After it was done, I transferred it to a different bowl, a bigger bowl, and then I put in the onions and the garlic and stirred it up again, and it was good. So, yeah, I got to remember that.
Right.
So, yeah. But that was just because I don't want to keep doing the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah, I can see how monotony can become real boring.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some cooking shows. And like I said, I tried doing it, but for some strange reason, as far as the recipes went and the preparation, nothing. It's all gone. Anyway,
Magic out of the oven.
yeah. Well, that's about all the time I think we got.
Mother son of a what?
Yeah.
You must be joking.
Right? Anyway, thank you all for watching. We'll stop. We'll let you know how this cooking thing comes out.
Send us a tsunami of emails.
There you go.